All right, welcome back to the podcast. So, before we dive into today's main topic, where we talk about the new Halo studios and their plans to revitalize the Halo series, we're going to kick things off with our new segment, Quick Respawn, where we give you a fast recap on the latest gaming news of the week. Nintendo Switch 2 aims to revitalize sales. Nintendo has announced plans for the Switch 2, complete with backward compatibility to play existing Switch games. This move comes as the company faces a dip in sales, but remains profitable. The new console is set to launch with over 10,000 titles and includes new offerings like Replayly and My Time at Evershine. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 set for November 14th release. Fans of Call of Duty have something to look forward to with the launch of Black Ops 6 and Warzone Season 1 on November 14th. Expect fresh maps, modes like the return of Prop Hunt, a new ranked play system, and a revamped inventory that promises to elevate the gaming experience. CS legend Forrest retires after 20 years. After 2 decades at the top of the competitive Counter-Strike scene, Patrick Forrest Lindbergh has officially retired. He leaves behind a legacy of 23 LAN trophies and will continue to influence the scene as a brand ambassador for ninjas in pajamas. India Game Developer Conference 2024. The 16th annual India Game Developer Conference is set to take place in Hyderabad from November 13th to the 15th, spotlighting innovation in the booming Indian gaming market. The event will host over 5,000 attendees, 150 plus sessions, and new initiatives like the International Game Award. GTA 6 set for fall 2025 release. Rockstar Games has confirmed that GTA 6 will hit the market in fall 2025, featuring the first female protagonist and a return to Vice City. A teaser is set to release this December, promising fans a glimpse of expansive and dynamic gameplay. Dota 2 welcomes Hero Kez. A new addition to Dota 2, the 126th hero Kez, brings a unique dual-wielding mechanic that allows players to switch between the Kazurai Katana and Shotosai blades, with evolving abilities tied to Kez's level progression. And that's your quick respawn for this week. Now, let's dive into our main discussion. What's up, Game and Rebellion? My name is Dirac, and I'm here with Isaiah.
Yes, sir. And today we wanted to talk to you guys about last time we were speaking on Halo and the reboot that it's going through, and how this new studio, new air quotes, 343 is going to handle the upcoming Halo games. And I wanted to dive in more on this topic on people who are the stewards of these franchises, yet they don't really understand the franchise themselves.
Right.
So, as we discussed before in their video, they were showing how Halo was a masterclass in graphics and everything. And I think most fans of this franchise will tell you graphics was never the problem with Halo.
Right.
Halo was great. And graphically, you could say all the games were good. There was something else missing from, I would probably say, from Halo 3 onwards. And definitely with Halo Infinite, there was a lot missing. There were features that they had back in 2001 that Halo Infinite somehow could not manage to achieve. They had back in 2001 that Halo Infinite somehow could not manage to achieve a campaign on release or Slayer mode in multiplayer. I was looking at I don't watch Harry Potter. I actually have never read any of the books or seen any of the movies. But I thought this was interesting that one of the writers for the upcoming TV show, his name's Andy Greenwald.
Mhm.
He mentioned in his podcast, mind you, this is a writer for the show. He says that the books are really, really rich and they are very, very long books, especially later in the series. People adore them. I haven't read them. It makes me wonder, how on earth can you think that how do you feel that you can put any input into something that you yourself haven't even read, so you're not familiar with the maybe you can help enlighten me on this one.
To be honest, I wouldn't even know where to begin because it's just fascinating to see how something like that, like you have Harry Potter is such a beloved series, and people like go by they love the books and everything, and just hearing that someone is put in charge that has never read the books, they don't understand all the nuances that come with the story. Like I'm sure they have someone that comes and tells them, oh, this is how it's supposed to go in the book or whatever, and then they use their judgment as to whether or not they those things make the final cut into the series or what have you. But I I'm also completely baffled as to how they get the job in the first place, because say what you will about skill, like if you were to come to me and say like, oh, this guy, he all the stuff he makes, it turns to gold, so he must know how to do pretty much anything he puts his hands on, he can make it profitable, I'm sure is their thought process. But I feel like it's kind of disrespectful to the series and the fans to have someone put in that position and they don't either even bother to go by the source material. They just, this is what we're doing, and that's it. But
I think it's funny you say, I'm sure you're right that they have
mm,
somebody who has to explain to them what really
mm,
happened
mm,
uh, in the books. And this is like back in the day. I remember in middle school, I used to use Spark Notes
mm.
and read that instead of actually reading the book, 'cause I didn't feel
Right.
like reading it, and I could just do my homework off that. But then
Yeah.
when it came time and we were in class and the teachers asking questions about what we read, it was very hard to answer those. It's very hard to BS that.
Mm.
It was easily clear that I didn't read, and I'm getting this all my information secondhand.
Mm.
I feel the same way has been happening with these franchises that people love, and then they get worked on by a very famous case is Game of Thrones, where
Mm.
you had George Martin working with the staff, and they created some of the best TV ever invented. And then you kick him off, and you decide we know what's best for this show, and you get the entire fan base to turn on you.
Right.
I, here's another quote. Same person, Andy Greenwald,
Mm.
writer for the upcoming Harry Potter TV series. He
Mm.
says, I think maybe there's some other creative possibilities within this world, but J.K. Rowling controls all of it and is not going to let anyone else come play with her toys. It's like, she's the
Okay.
source. What do you mean? Every the reason why people read the books,
uh,
the reason why they went to the theaters
uh,
was because it was all something that she came up with.
right. That's what they came for.
All right, nobody knows who you are,
And
and
they don't
I
want
think
to know
that's
what you
that.
made.
I think that's part of the issue is that I could be wrong here, but I think that there's people that they don't know how to make a good story in and of themselves, so they just hijack somebody else's work.
Mm.
I've seen this with The Witcher, Netflix's adaptation of The Witcher, which
Right.
they went the they went way far away from the source material. They just started doing their own thing, and the writer said, "Hey, I can help you guys with this," and they like, "No, don't worry, we got this." And now The Witcher's canceled, and it's crazy because it's like fans were looking forward to this, and now
Uh,
I feel like there's almost this expectation that uh you once upon a time when Netflix was doing a series, it was like, oh wow, this is gonna be awesome. Now
right.
it's like, I pray to God they're not doing my series. Please, please no. I'm not sure what exactly is happening here. I'm not sure what exactly is happening here. But again, going back to Halo, when I was watching that trailer, I didn't see anybody talking about what made the original Halo great. It wasn't, yes, graphically it was great, but like,
right.
What was it that made it great for you? I don't, and not only that, I want to know, why do you think that the other franchises that you, games that you worked on failed? Until you understand that, until you can tell me why those things failed, it's going to be very hard for me to believe that you actually understand what you're doing. Right. Like you say, oh, management's changed. We have this new direction. I don't know what that direction is. It could still be going the wrong way.
Right.
So I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I completely agree with you. It's like I like what I like because of its source material. Like you said, with Harry Potter, and the last thing I want is for someone to come along and put their own interpretation on the story and like completely mess it up. It's one thing if you take that material and just maybe freshen it up a little bit and like make it, like I said, just like freshen it up a little bit, that's fine. But to change the entire story, and for what reason? Because you think you have a better direction, you have a better idea, you think you know what you're doing better than the person who actually made the material. It's like, who are you? And then when it doesn't succeed, or you don't get the success that you were aiming for by doing this, you become all butthurt, and it's just like, oh, why don't you love this? Like, this is amazing. It's like, no, it's not. Like,
it's a toxic fandom.
The toxic fandom, exactly. It's like, you veered off course and you expect us to just fall in love with it. It's like, no, we're not the problem, it's you. And it's the same thing with Halo. It's like, you want to figure out what needs to change in order to bring Halo back to what it used to be, but you have the game plan right there, the blueprint within the fandom. You just go to them and you ask them, well, what was it about Halo that made you fall in love with the series? What was it that made you want to play the game when you were younger? What was it? What is it that we can do to bring that magic back? They decide, you know what? Let's just swap out some people. Let's change the team. Let's give ourselves a new name. And now that we got some better game engines to work with, we can make it look prettier. And then this way, everyone will love it.
That's the funny thing is, yeah, they think giving themselves a new name is going to make us forget that it's the same people working on the product. We know it's going to suck.
Right.
We know it's going to suck.
Like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. So, if you were willing to do what you said and listen to the fans and take criticism. Yeah. Some criticism is, people can get crazy. They can go over. Of course. But that's not a reason to not take any kind of criticism. That's not a reason to just ignore everyone and just lump everybody in one category. Right. I think back on the Sonic movie, and you remember how that trailer went when they first released it? How hideous that thing looked. It was
yes.
It was like, whoa, like there's no way you looked at this and you thought this was Sonic. Everybody was making fun of it. Nobody liked it.
Right.
And Sega was like, hey, we hear you guys. We're going to fix it. They fixed it. And because they fixed it, I took a chance and went to go see that movie. And I wasn't disappointed. That movie delivered, and
it was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. But that's that. It's crazy how you have that example in front of you of listening, taking feedback, and it working out. And then you have tons of examples of these people hijacking series that they don't understand, not listening to people, not listening to feedback, doing their own thing. The worst part is, it's one thing if you're not going to listen to the fans' feedback.
Right.
Why won't you listen to the author? That's the part I really don't understand. Like, how,
I get
this
that.
person made it what it is. Why would you not listen to them?
Right. It's kind of interesting because if the argument is that they don't want to take advice from the toxic fandom, then why not just go to the source material? But I think the whole reason for that is they think they can do it better. They think that they can take the story that's already been made and make it 1,000,000 times better, whatever the projections are. And when it ends up flopping, it's just like, but why? Oh, because you're toxic fans. That's what it is. Like, it can't be
And
them.
what's toxic about not wanting to spend money on garbage?
Right. It's like, you can't
That's
be
not
mad
toxic.
at me. I just don't want to spend money on that. It's like, you want me to spend money on something you make something that I want. That's the whole point. If you're not going to make what I want, I'm not going to spend money on it.
Exactly.
You can be butthurt all you want, but you need to accept that. But try explaining that to them.
It's such a weird dynamic that we're in now, where it seems like it's us versus them, when that's not the way it should be. It's like, hey, we come to you guys because we love the product. This is why. But then somebody else who I imagine these people could not get their own career together, and that's why nobody knows their names. There is no franchise around their product. So you just go and you steal someone else's work, and
you end up with this nonsense.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm actually kind of curious. What did he? Looking up Andy Greenwald. I want to see what did he actually?
Yeah.
What has he made? Because I've never heard of him.
No, I've never.
But we all know J.K. I don't read Harry Potter. I know J.K. Rowling.
Right.
Right. Like, I'm sure if you've never watched Game of Thrones, you probably know who. You probably at least heard of George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I've never heard of that guy. Not until you mentioned him like the other day. I was just like, I don't know who that is. I didn't even bother to look him up because it's like, I don't know who that is and I don't care. But then I hear that he's doing the Harry Potter series, and it's just like, who is this?
Okay, so I'm looking. He has a few one season shows under his belt. Okay. I'm sure you've probably not heard of any. Well, Briar Patch
no
is his newest one. It has 10 episodes. It came out in 2019 to 2020. Okay. Legion actually has good ratings.
Legion was good. I'll give him that.
Legion has 7 episodes. Rockville 7.4.
I don't know what that is.
And After the Thrones 5.0. Yeah. So Legion was a Marvel.
Yeah. With Professor X's son.
Okay. So out of the works that he has here, we have 1 out of 4. Those aren't very good odds if you're a Harry Potter fan, I don't think.
No. I would be like, I'm familiar with the series. I've watched a couple of the movies. I haven't read the books. A few of my friends really chased me down to like get into the series, but it is a good series from what I've learned so far, and it has such a big following. I would be pissed if this dude, who apparently knows nothing of the series, comes and just completely messes it up. Like, they're gonna have a riot. Like, yeah, I hope he's prepared for that, of his toxic fandom coming to get him. But we'll see. We will
hopefully see. Well, I'm not sure. He says Rowling has so much control over the source
because it's her story.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how much freedom he's actually being allowed. Hopefully not too much.
He doesn't need it. Just do what you're paid for. Don't go off script. That brings me again to the whole thing with anime adaptations. Like, why do we have to change the story? It was fine. The reason it has its fandom is because it is what it was. And now you take it and you're like, okay, but we can make it better. Why? It doesn't need to be made better. It was fine the way it was.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, just wanted to bring that into the Halo discussion and see, I just explain why I don't have a lot of hope for 343 or, excuse me, Halo Studios making this next game. I don't think that they understand why their games suck to begin with. And it just amazes me that Microsoft is just cool with this. Microsoft just spends the money to let them squander their golden goose.
Which is crazy. This is their IP. Like,
yeah. Like, Halo was the reason to get an Xbox. I haven't bought an Xbox since the 360. And it was because of Halo. Like, straight up. That was the only reason. Bungie left, I left. But
yeah.
anyways, that's all I got for this one.
All right, cool. Yeah, definitely let us know your thoughts. I for one, like you, I'm not expecting much. I really, like, if they clearly didn't seem to learn their lesson the first time, maybe someone might accidentally hit their head and actually get it. But, well, only time will tell. But,
I'm calling it now. It's gonna suck. I'm calling it now.
Well, that's
I'm willing to be wrong, but
yeah.
I don't think I will.
That's fair. That's fair. We're gonna keep up with it and see what happens. But all right, that'll be it for this one. All right, appreciate you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.